welcome once again to Air Engine Research. Today I'm going to kind of go over some things that I've done from the start with this radial engine design. On July 8th is when I finally quit with that eccentric drive, which was not working, and I started with what I called a modified radial design, where one cylinder drives the crankshaft, and then the other cylinders on the side, they go along and help push and drive the engine as it turns. The first version I did was trying to use the base plate as it was and use the crankshaft that I could that would allow me to use this base plate, but I could only do not even an 1.5 inch crankshaft on it. So that was about a 3-inch stroke total. And that is just not enough. It's too hard to turn, and it was choppy. And besides, I was trying to use 3 cylinders, which it didn't work out either. That made it even more choppy. But since then, I've come up with adding extensions to the base plate, which allowed me to use a 3-inch radius on my crankshaft, which gives me a full 6-inch stroke from top to bottom, which is much better. And I've decided to go with 1-inch cylinders again. So the combinations, I think, will be much better. I'll get in a little bit closer when I'm working on the hookups to the cylinders, and the problem that I'm having with using this system where the cylinders go back and forth, I had to use a flexible line on it. I hope that'll be strong enough. It's supposed to be 150 burst strength. So I'm sure it'll go up to a couple of hundred PSI with no problem. But I'll bring the camera in a little closer so you can see. There, I think you can see that better now. Yeah. Okay, anyway, as my crankshaft rotates, the cylinder goes back and forth. But in order for me to have the valves located properly, I have to figure out how to use this rotation back and forth to push the plunger in and out. So I've decided to use this as a template. This is a bearing that'll ride up here against the shaft as it goes back and forth, and that bearing will go back and forth like so. It pivots on this point up here. So this is an exhaust one, so it goes on this side over here. The intake is over here, the exhaust is on this side. And this would be mounted like so. About that position. And then I say the pivot point is right here, so it goes, and you can see it closes that down as it rotates. So this goes back in to let the exhaust come out. Oh. That's what this is for. Keep that from happening. Yeah. So anyway, this, as it rides, it won't let that fly out, and this stops, so it won't go any further. Otherwise, it could possibly go past, and this could somehow come out, but I think that'll stop it. One of the problems that I have been having, I use a 3/8 airline, and these fittings and the 3/8, I'm trying to keep everything a minimum of a 3/8 ID. Now there's different size fittings I found out. If you look at the hole in that, and then you look at the hole in that, I want this size. So I had to drill out everything that I had that had the small hole in it, which turned out to be quite a few pieces. I have to make 2 more of these, and then I'll have to make 8 of these. And I was hoping that I could somehow use a metal lathe or a turning mill on it and do this radius. But since it's what would be called an eccentric radius, it's not, you can't use that and then turn that down. You'd have to have a different place to turn it down if it had that radius. So I'm going to have to try to cut it out as close as I can. One side straight, this side straight, just that one radius is all I have to do. And I'll have to grind that by hand and then drill the holes for the parts that are bolted to it. This will be a 1/4 inch stem. That's a 1/2 inch stem with a 1/4 inch rotation hole and a 1/4 inch hole for the bearing. The bearing is going to be 1 1/8 inches. That size, but the 1 1/8 inches has a 1/2 inch hole in it. So anyway, I have found that a 1/4 20 bolt with a nut fits perfectly inside the bearing. So what I will do is instead of having a 1/2 inch hole in this thing, I can use a 1/4 inch and still use the 1 1/8 bearing to make it work. So that's my design for the valve stem pusher arm. There is a right and a left. One has to be made this particular way, and it has to be flipped over for the intake so that it works properly. So what else did I do today? I'd say 6 to 7 hours a day. I come in usually at 8 o'clock, go down to the house, have a cup of coffee, and take about a 45-minute or an hour break. Then I come back up and stay usually till around 5, sometimes 5:30. Everything takes a lot of time. It may not look so difficult, but to make something like when I had to make the valves, I used 3 of the valve sets, but I had to make 2 new ones. And I decided to make them a little bit longer and give the headroom a little bit more space for the seal bearing on the inside that opens and closes the hole. That was one of the problems I had in the past with the head space, that when you push the stem to push the bearing up, it would go up and partially close off the inlet head, which I didn't realize until one day I was taking it apart and had it hooked up to the air, and I was pushing it, and then all of a sudden I could see that, well, if I push it too far, it stops it. That may have been some of the problem I had in the past. I made a manifold that is going to be used to supply the 4 inlets, and I'm using a 1/2 inch fitting coming into it because my pressure regulator, all the fittings on it are based on a 1/2 inch fitting. So a 1/2 inch coming in, and then that'll be split and go into 4 separate lines that will go to each one of this, and go to this one, this and go to that one, this and go to this one, this and go to this one. And my feed line will be sitting on top of here. Pressure regulator will be mounted on that. One second. Get it set up. And then from there, I'll have to go down underneath the plate where this will be mounted somewhere up underneath, and then go to each one of the valves. It's kind of a choppy video, but just thought I'd take a few minutes and let you know where I'm at. I'm not sure how much longer it's going to take to make these 8 pusher valves. Well, if you watch this, thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate you checking in. If any first-time viewers would like to follow along, please subscribe, check the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I have a new video. Sometimes they come pretty quick, and then sometimes it might take a week or so before I make another one, depending on how much I get done. But for now, long-time subscribers, thanks again for checking in with me.